Welcome back to Book to Friday podcast. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. If you're on Spotify, make sure to rate the show so it gets shared to people with similar interests. As you guys know, every week we do our Florida Man headlines, and we've got some pretty crazy headlines this week.
Some very not chill.
Tampa mayor finds $1.1 million worth of cocaine while fishing. Tampa Mayor Jane Castor made a big fish while fishing the Florida Keys with family. Last month, she spotted and hauled in a package containing 70 pounds of cocaine, which is estimated at approximately $1.1 million at street value. She says her younger brother spotted the large mass in the water as they were coming in from a fishing trip. Before her current role as mayor, she spent 31 years with Tampa Police Department, spent many years working as a narcotics detective. She called the county sheriff's office, telling them to meet them at their rental to pick up the unusual catch. It contained 25 bricks of cocaine, according to the Border Patrol.
I don't trust cops. I want to say, in my ideal mental capacity mindscape, like she was like snorting it and using it, and then a cop came up behind her, like one of her old buddies or something.
So
and she got scared. She's like, "Oh, I found it! I found it! I fished it up."
What actually happened was it was initially 100 pounds of cocaine. But then by the time we got to the police, they're like, yeah, we found 90 pounds of cocaine. The mayor was like, actually, it was only 80 pounds of cocaine. And then by the time they got checked into the police department, they're like, yeah, so we put in 70 pounds of cocaine in the into the lockup or whatever, you know?
Dude, you read some of the police reports and you realize, like, especially when you listen to true crime, dude, the
Police are inept.
Well, not just that, like. Honestly, like I listened to this one true crime podcast, and I feel like this guy gives too much lenience to the police. He's like, oh yeah, no, it was just this guy's, and like literally, he's just been going on for 40 minutes about how inept the police are.
Yeah, he's like, I can't blame them. They're only human and not doing their jobs. And not very good.
It's like
at
that's
it,
their job
and making constant mistakes. And if it was any other line of work, they'd be fired and reprimanded. But I can't blame them.
Yeah, they did the best they could. I'm like, I don't know,
They're
it's insane.
doing their best.
Like, cause like he's like reprimanding them throughout, right? He's like, oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. You shouldn't do that. And at the end of the 40 minutes, he's like, well, you know, the police didn't do too bad of a job, all things considered.
For cops, it was just another Tuesday, you know? Like, it's not that bad.
It's like their direct actions led to like 40 extra people dying. Like, what do you mean? It's literally their job. It's like, okay, yeah, if it's a concerned citizen that fucked up like this, it's like, okay, it's not their job.
Yeah.
This was the police department.
This is supposed to be their job. Remember, this is why cops should require a 4-year degree. If there was a 4-year degree required, not only would we have much smarter cops, but we'd probably have a lot less cops, because then they wouldn't just be able to be like, hey, you were a bully in high school? Fuck yeah, come in.
Yeah, get on our football team.
We'll give you a gun. So
don't forget to shoot at least 3 minorities. That's your quota.
Honestly.
No.
Florida man accused of stealing gator from golf course threw it around to teach it a lesson.
You know what I'm imagining? The Avengers 1 scene where Hulk is just like flinging Loki.
Yeah, but it's Gator Loki. Suspect tried to flood holding cell after arrest, police say. A Florida man who stole an alligator from a miniature golf course, swung it around by its tail, and threw it into the air, claimed he was teaching the reptile a lesson, according to Daytona Beach Police. Department of Public Safety. Police said they were patrolling a South Atlantic Avenue at 3:20 a.m. Thursday when they saw a man, later identified as blank, attempting to throw a live gator onto the roof of a building. It's 3 in the morning.
Why?
He was the man, 32, grabbed the creature by its tail, hit it against the building awning, according to the affidavit. He's also accused of slamming into the ground and stomping on it twice and throwing the alligator over his shoulder onto the ground. The more I read, the worse I feel for the alligator.
Yeah, legit. At first I started off like, oh man, sucks this guy had an encounter with an alligator, could have bit his leg off. And then you just keep reading and it's progressively like,
officers say they approached Hodge after seeing him throw the alligator, and he immediately put his hands up to surrender and was taken into custody. So he was like, I fucked up, guys. I know.
Yeah. Don't shoot.
He admitted that he jumped the fence into an alligator enclosure at a nearby miniature golf course and stole the gator after wrestling with it. When asked why, he claimed he was teaching it a lesson. He was taken to the public safety department and tried to flood the holding cell by balling up toilet paper to clog the toilet bowl and the drain on the floor. It's disgusting.
Why? That's so gross. What is that even going to do? You're still stuck behind the bars. There's not pressure.
Police said the man threatened to flood the whole facility.
How?
It's his escape plan. I'm gonna flood this entire place with just a toilet bowl, okay?
I kill myself.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
An arrest report didn't detail what injuries the alligator suffered, if any. It has since been returned to Congo River Gulf.
Happy ending. Happy ending. I hope they give him a morsel of meat for that, for his troubles.
And then, oh my God, there's comments on this thing. It's one thing to fight an animal that's trying to harm you. It's a whole nother thing to abuse an animal that wasn't bothering you at all. What's disturbing about this is that all charges were dismissed. The guy isn't only abusive, he demonstrates every likelihood of mental issues.
Not just mental issues, but like, isn't like injuring and abusing animals like the step one of like a potential serial killer? I mean, that's a bit far to speculate for him, but like that is like a sign.
Well, he's 32, and I mean, he's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the police and the criminal system is not equipped for these people. We need something else of handling mentally unstable situations.
There's a reason why it's defund the police. Because I mean, okay, because in fairness, I'm gonna be that guy from the true crime podcast right now. In fairness, what tools do the police have at disposal to handle mental illness? Guns. It's just shoot them dead,
tasers,
or like put them in prison for like
pepper
5 months.
spray.
Literally, you either make the situation worse, or you kill them.
You
put them in
escalate.
jail. If you put them in jail, their mental illness is just going to exacerbate. They're just going to get even worse. Mm-hmm. The other option, put them down like a dog. That's it. That's the 2 options that they have.
Pretty much. So, Florida decides to teach that slavery was beneficial for black people.
Yep.
So,
totally, right? Totally.
this is nuts. Educators, historians, and civil rights leaders were among those on Thursday who condemned Florida's new K-12 history curriculum as a big step backward for teaching that slavery gave African Americans beneficial skills, and for what critics argue is a disproportionate focus on black violence. Imagine.
You know, it's hard to make jokes about these because you know why? I remember when this first came into the media zeitgeist, and I just remember this guy interviewing some of the last, or I don't know if some of the last, but like or like basically he was telling a story of some of the people that were slaves that like essentially I think they built the capital of or no, they built one of the buildings in Missouri, I think, something like that. And they need, those are like, that's like skilled, like to build like a foundation that goes that deep as like the Missouri capital or whatever, like that's skilled trade. That's like journeyman level work. That's really high end, really trades type of thing. And their slave owner was paid a really handsome sum for them using these slaves. And then once they got out of the slave trade, once they were free, no one would hire them for that type of work despite what they did. So those skills literally went to waste because no one wanted to hire them for their own free labor.
That too. Yeah.
Like the skills, whatever few skills that they did get off of that horrible situation couldn't be used. Yeah. No, not just lost in generation two. They themselves could not then use them once they were free.
Well, no, that's my point. So they couldn't even pass it on to their kids or anything because it's like, well, this isn't going to work for you. So you just got to go and do manual labor
or whatever. Like literally they had to do like unskilled labor, or I guess not unskilled labor because there's no such thing, but like they had to go do like menial jobs, like day jobs or whatever.
Labor, that's why. Because they're just like, okay, you just have to be a cog in a machine rather than someone who's like thinking for themselves and stuff. Fort Lauderdale. A man who showed up late to his American Airlines flight at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport Monday expressed his displeasure by making a bomb threat. Authorities say the man, 30, showed up to the gate, was told the flight was closed, and then enraged, said to the gate agent, "I'm gonna blow this shit up. I'm gonna take you all out," prompting her to call 911. The deputies arrested him soon after. "When I attempted to advise the man of his Miranda rights, he refused to allow it," deputy said in the arrest report. "Once again, he became enraged and was swearing at me and raising his voice." The man appeared in court Tuesday on charges of making a bomb threat and making a false report of mass destruction of public property. While the judge said he felt that the man wasn't facing exactly the right charges, he did find probable cause and ordered the man be given a $10,000 bond and told him he could not go on any airport property. The man's attorney said that the man, a truck driver, was on his way to go back to pick up his truck from a repair shop when he missed his flight yesterday. That's hilarious. The day before 9/11, they would have just told him to calm down, pick up your lighter and cigarettes, and hop on the next plane.
Yeah.
And
See, this is why every time I'm gonna go pick up my chicken nuggets, I always take a bomb vest strapped into me and with a dead man switch. That way, if they shoot and kill me, they explode everything. You know, That's what you gotta do. You gotta go prepared. You can't just make the threat. You gotta go
if
prepared.
you're not prepared to make them meet their maker because of a slight inconvenience, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Can
What are you
really-
doing?
Can you really
Rookie
call
hours.
yourself
You
an
gotta get these
American?
numbers up.
Someone cuts you off in traffic, you shoot at them. Someone delays a taxi service, you shoot at or you stab them.
You stab
Someone doesn't let you on a plane, you threaten a bomb threat. Come
What
on.
threaten? You gotta have your dead man switch ready. You gotta have
Sorry.
that at the ready.
Here we don't make threats, we make promises.
Promises. Exactly. No threats, only promise. For legal purposes,
That was all jokes.
That was
For legal reasons, those were all jokes.
for legal reasons. The Supreme Court's address. No.
For legal reasons, here's the following Supreme Court nominees.
Here are the coordinates. Send
Wow.
a drone strike.
And
Obama.
and the man's look at his fucking shocked Pikachu face mugshot, where he's like, "The actions of my consequences." Fuck.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm arrested?
What do you? Yeah, the guy was reading him his Miranda rights. He was probably like, "You don't need to read me that. I'm not under arrest." Narrator.
Sovereign citizen.
Unfortunately, the man was indeed under arrest.
I'm a sovereign citizen. You can't arrest me. I have a dead man switch in my butthole. You can't.
Exactly. Florida man sells fully functioning F-16 fighter jet online. Only $8.5 million. In Palm Beach, a Florida man wants to sell a fully functioning F-16 fighter jet that was acquired from Jordan. Not
What?
Michael, the country.
Yeah. Oh, much clearer. Thank you.
And this jet is not a stripped down model, but a fully functioning used fighter jet, an F-16 Viper. It's a 1980 multi-role fighter jet, which has an $8.5 million price tag, and it's being offered alongside two other F-16 Vipers, according to The Drive, an automotive website.
Three F-16 Vipers for sale.
Yeah, this is not your average used fighter jet, as you may well be browsing
just-
eBay right now. You know,
Just casually picking out your next fighter jet.
this is not your average fighter jet. This is a
What
fully.
if they come in pink? That would be a seller.
That's
That would
a little,
be great.
Yeah, you're right.
That would be great. That
This
would be great.
plane is a fully functioning combat aircraft and not demilitarized. What do we were just talking about dead man switches. We were just talking about the Supreme Court and their addresses. Guys.
Go out there. If we fundraise enough, just $1 for
This
from
deal
every
isn't going to be
YouTube
around
subscriber.
forever, okay? You're going to call me crazy for leaving this F-16 at only $8.5 million, but you know what? I think today we're having a
God
bit of a
wants
good
me
deal.
to have an F-16
God
Viper.
wants me to
By
have-
golly.
And if I don't add more jewelry to my collection, and I don't live and poop on a golden throne,
Don't
God,
forget to seed. You're gonna give your money to God.
you gotta seed for us people. You gotta seed. God wants me to have an $8.5 million F-16 so I can blast out the infidels. That is God's purpose for me. Why can't we just become mega church pastors? Come on,
Honestly,
it's
it would be
so
so much
easy.
easier.
Yeah.
It'd be so much easier.
So the private aircraft leasing and purchasing company with offices around the globe purchased the used aircraft from Jordan, which acquired dozens of secondhand F-16 from NATO allies Belgium and Netherlands between 2008 and 2017. The aircraft can reach a maximum speed of Mach 2.05. That's it. Only Mach
it?
2? I only invest...
I gotta get a discount for that. 10%, please.
I only invest in F-16s that go up to Mach 3. Sorry, liberals, but I want my Machs to be at least 3 times as powerful.
Me personally, sounds kind of gay. Only Mach 2.
Honestly, why does that sound like the homosexual agenda? That's exactly what that sounds
Trying
like.
to lower the speed.
These liberals want to put a speed limit on our planes. It's bullshit. I want to go so fast I feel my skin and bones tearing off as all the G-forces crush
go
my
so
internal
fast.
organs.
I want to go so fast I become that fella from Interstellar.
Exactly. If I'm not Matthew McConaughey crying at the prospect of me leaving my own daughter and I'm stuck in the past in a time loop, I don't want to hear about it.
Every fighter pilot has a right to cry for their daughter.
As they regret the choices they made that led into the exact situation. What was Interstellar about again?
I don't know. You want to know a secret? I've never seen it.
I've seen it,
I've
but I vaguely
never
remember,
seen it.
like, I don't know, there's corn, they're running out of stuff. They're like, oh, a day here, or like 10 minutes here is like a year over there. So all that time dilation BS. But
I know the Matthew McConaughey crying meme because that was a meme, right? It was like a meme for a while.
it's like-
but like I've never seen the movie. I've never seen that. I've never seen Gravity. I've never seen
I haven't seen Gravity either. Gravity sucked.
yeah, like all of those, like these like critically acclaimed movies or whatever. Like The Martian too. I haven't seen that either.
Why
like, of,
was-
like Outer Space. I haven't seen any of
Why
those.
was
fuckers.
Gravity critically acclaimed? 96 on
fucking
Rotten
know.
Tomatoes? Yeah, because they had Sandra Bullock, George Clooney, and Ed Harris. Come on.
Because of the good acting, I guess. But,
I don't know.
I guess the special effects too were something special, if I remember correctly.
It was really. I remember they were criticizing it because of the whole premise didn't make any sense. Let me see.
Oh, and it had Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining yeah, some of this is accurate to what it would be like in outer space.
So, let me see. Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah.
So, it's funny because he said, "I've never seen people nitpick such a good film to death." Right?
Yeah.
The former NASA engineer and UCLA professor. Right? He consulted on series, but also I don't like Neil deGrasse Tyson anymore because he just seems like an asshole. He's very abrasive and oh, what do you mean you didn't know that the hydrogen atom was shaped like a blood? That's who he talks like. Especially on the Joe Rogan podcast. But so he said,
I think in particular he's like that with media people because he's basically tired. Just think about how long he's done this. Oh, I gotta correct this misinformation out there. Oh, I gotta do that. That. I feel like getting constantly taken in bad faith and then also basically lied to your face constantly over year after year after year for 2 decades or something. I don't know, it jades a person. It roughens you out. You don't want to care. It makes you abrasive.
you're
I feel
disillusioned.
yeah, basically. You get really jaded after because imagine people like Tucker Carlson or that type of stuff.
The failed comedians.
The failed comedians of the world basically lying to your face day after day after day, and then people believing them.
Ben
for their
Shapiro, the
lies.
failed screenwriter.
Exactly.
So, they said the Hubble Space Telescope and the International Space Station and China's Tiangong-1 are close enough to travel between them. That was not true. They're so far apart that it's actually difficult to visualize. They're at 3 different altitudes. They're going on different orbits. So yeah, that would never happen.
Yeah.
You can point at an object in space and head toward it. No, it's the same thing with the forces keeping an object in orbit, like gravity, pulling the satellite, centripetal force.
All that jazz.
Yeah, all that jazz, right? Translation: a lower altitude means a higher orbital speed, and vice versa. It makes travel between a destroyed satellite and the ISS extremely difficult. Every time you speed up or slow down, your altitude changes from that of the object you're trying to hit. So if you're going faster, you'd probably be, and then I don't know.
Yeah, you basically have to have a counterweight. You have to have propulsion not only in the direction you want to head, but in the opposite direction of where you're heading. So if you're trying to head straight up, you gotta have something giving you. Basically, you gotta have 2 points of jet, water, whatever air that they use to maneuver you.
Yeah. So, space debris from a low-flying satellite could knock out communication satellites. It's mostly false. Because they're just the space debris hits them. Technically it could happen, but
Yeah.
okay. Space stations falling out of orbit. Yeah, that happens. Bodies freeze instantly when exposed to space. False. Space is a vacuum.
You want to know something funny about the ISS, though, now that we're on this topic? When we're done with the ISS in a decade or whatever, or 2 decades, or however long it takes to decommission it, we're going to throw it at Cthulhu, basically.
He exists?
No, okay, so the area where Lovecraft wrote that Cthulhu lives or whatever is the
Region in space?
no, it's a point on the ocean that's furthest away from any point of land. So basically, right there, it's literally the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
in the ocean. There's nothing for miles and miles in any direction. You can't get back to land from there, and there's so little life there. Life can't really live there because the currents don't really operate the same way as they do in else. So there's basically no life, nothing living there, and that's where Cthulhu, Lovecraft wrote that Cthulhu was.
Yeah.
And because it's so devoid of life, because there's no biodiversity, because there's nothing around there, that's where we're gonna throw the ISS because it's you can safely
There's
crash
nothing
it
there.
without
makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
without damaging anything.
Yeah. So, if you guys are watching this right now, it's a Monday. If you're in California, it's probably raining.
You're probably dead. You've
You're-
been flooded out. You've
Unfortunately.
encountered a typical Texas winter.
Exactly. Florida summer. You mean,
Florida
'cause
summer.
The hurricanes
True,
in Florida.
true.
Hurricane Hillary. It was a Category 4 storm, right? Category 4 storm. So, basically, what happened? The reason it's such a big thing, right? National Weather Service warned on Saturday that the storm could bring the potential for isolated tornadoes across portions of Southern California. So, something we haven't seen. I mean, there was a small tornado up in what was it, La Habra or some shit a couple of months ago. Remember that?
Was there?
Yeah, there was. Okay.
I thought there was one in downtown like a couple of months ago.
Something like that.
Tornado in California.
It was where is it? So November 8th, 2022. No, it was a different one. Oh yeah. Tornado touchdown in Compton on May 4th.
Compton, yeah, there we go. That's the one I remember.
So that was, I mean, it was a small one, but you could still see it.
Yeah, it was
That
like a
was
category 1 or whatever, right?
Like category 0, it says.
0. Oh, yeah, even
zero,
less
so
than
barely
1.
even. Yeah, barely.
Yeah,
anything,
barely
right?
anything. It I saw it did do quite a bit of destruction though. It like lifted parts
Not-
of roofs.
Not the one in Compton. The other one did. It was like in La Habra or something. I'm telling you.
No, that one, the one in Compton. I remember it lifted a couple of roofs. It destroyed some cars.
Oh, it did. It did.
Yeah.
I see the destruction now, but
Yeah, it was a little bit, but I mean, on the scale of tornadoes, the amount of destruction tornadoes can cause, it was like nothing basically. That's why lifting a couple of roofs is like child's play for tornadoes. It's
Basically.
like Sunday lunch. It's nothing.
So they said the system could bring catastrophic and life-threatening flooding over Baja California and the Southwest U.S. early through next week, right? Mm-hmm. What that basically means is if you're in LA, you're going to get a couple inches of rain. It's going to be heavy rain, but if you're near the San Gabriel Mountains, there's higher chances of mudslides and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, on any
Public
hills,
service announcement:
on any hills.
don't get caught in a hurricane.
Exactly, guys. If you're watching this right now, go back in time 2 days and buy some water to to stay safe.
Just don't get caught in a hurricane. What are you doing? Get out of the
Exactly.
hurricane. You see a hurricane coming, just run away. What are you doing?
So no tropical storm has made landfall in Southern California since September 25th of 1939.
87 years. Dude, my girlfriend's sister is so unlucky.
84
She
years.
planned her wedding, like, you plan a wedding much in advance.
Yeah, for a
years.
while.
Yeah. And she chose Sunday, right when the hurricane decides to hit. Luckily, it's not going to be a hurricane by the time it hits us, right? Like, it's going to peter down to just a heavy storm.
So it's going down to a tropical storm.
Yeah.
It was actually downgraded from a category 4 to category 3 as of earlier today. It's 2 o'clock right now. It was like 11 a.m. So about 3 hours ago.
3 hours.
They downgraded it. And that's the thing. It'll keep downgrading the more it's over land.
Yeah.
It's going to
Because
eventually
it takes more
lose
energy
steam.
to cross land than it does ocean.
Yeah.
Not only that, but you pick up more water over the ocean, obviously.
So
But yeah, dude. Okay, like I have to numb myself to these kinds of things because these are signs that obviously news
Global
alert.
warming,
Scientists were correct all along.
Yeah. Climate change is
is
real.
happening and it's going to affect us. And most of this area where we currently live is going to be underwater by the time we're adults.
wait, we are adults.
Oh,
No, I don't know about
you know
this
what I mean.
area, but
No, yeah, even this area. Like most people live within a certain amount of mileage from the ocean, and sea levels are going to start rising. Eventually,
gonna
this is going to
continue to
become.
rise.
Yeah, they're going to
well,
continue to rise.
eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a
Within
higher
our
chance.
lifetimes,
There's
no?
a higher chance of Florida going under than
Oh yeah,
HP
first
going
Florida's
under.
going to go down first, but HP it's not that far off. We're only 20 miles from the coast, or not even. We're like 18 miles from the coast.
Yeah,
All right, I'm waiting for my house to become beachfront property, and then I'm gonna sell it to Aquaman and head further inland.
just sell your house and leave. Okay, if there's such a problem, then why don't you sell your house? To who?
Dude, I watched that video of because you know where that came from, right? H Bomber guy.
No, I thought that was Shapiro saying it.
No, yeah, but the joke Shapiro said that, but the joke that H Bomber guy did propelled that.
Oh, who
He
am
was
I
like,
gonna sell
who,
it to?
who are we gonna sell it to? Fucking Aquaman? Yeah, and then he like fucking pokes his head through a wall that he destroyed. It's pretty funny, but how do you call it? But I still rewatch that video every so often. Like I'm playing games, I'm like, I gotta rewatch that. It's so funny. It's so funny.
Gets better. Every
It's so depressing and so funny.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that just proves. Well, that just goes to serve
That was 6 years ago.
as proof that how dumb Ben Shapiro is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's basically that. There's going to be a lot of flooding, a lot of heavy rain. I mean, it's just a lot of rain all
Yeah.
at once, which is ripe for flooding, and then that rain doesn't even get absorbed by the basin because it's too much rain, so it runs off, creates more problems, etc., etc.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas, they're also they're also putting like sandbags and stuff like that
Because the rain's gonna hit them, and they're less prepared than we
Yep.
are. Because they don't get anything. They're inland.
Yep. So, again, luckily we're in LA County, so it's not going to be as bad. There's going to be a lot of heavy rain, but we have like all the the rivers and the offshoots and everything like that. Anywhere that says flooded during rain will most likely still flood during this rain. But by Monday night, Tuesday morning, it's basically going to be done. Maybe still flooding slightly, but again, people go, "Oh my God, it's flooding!" But flooding just
Yeah.
means that okay, this street is like unusable and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Well,
you know?
during the rainy season, a lot of our streets flood here in HP. No, especially the underpasses.
So Gage is one that's notorious for flooding, but
Gage,
I don't know.
Florence floods too. Florence. Oh no, not
Does
Florence.
it?
What's the other F street?
Firestone.
Firestone.
Yeah.
Firestone. When it starts turning into Manchester, that floods a lot too. And then
Gotcha.
our Miles through the underpasses, that shit floods too.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Well,
That floods a lot. I fucked up my car one time because
Trying to
I was
drive
like,
through?
I was like running. I was like, I forgot what I was running late to, but it was like raining pretty heavily, and this was like years ago. And the whole thing was like a giant flood there, and I forgot that street floods, so I just rammed into it at like 40 miles an hour. Just poof. I just see like the fucking water like splash over, like go over my car. I'm like, fuck.
and you're like, "Woo! It's just Jurassic Park. It's a car. It can get wet." And then your car got fucked up later.
Yeah, like the bumper fucking got like shredded out the bottom because it's like a steep going back up, and it
I
hit the
getcha,
water
I
and it
getcha,
like
I getcha.
scraped against the back part of that dip and just shredded the bottom of my car.
Yeah,
It'd be
so-
that way.
So first responders are already prepositioned across the southern part of California right now. California National Guard personnel and flood fighting equipment. They're setting up all that stuff since Friday. So FEMA's setting up.
FEMA.
That's hilarious. In Hawthorne, California, people are buying up water. So that's the one thing. There's no reason to like, let me rush and panic and buy a bunch of fucking water.
Get like
because
two
then
two cases of water.
one case of water will be fine, honestly.
Well, it depends
because,
how hydrated you like to be.
Because remember, the supply chain's not breaking down. This is a 2-day storm.
You don't
It
think
will
capitalists
pass.
are gonna let a storm stop you? Stop you
Stop
from
them
going to
from
work?
capitalizing
Yeah.
on that too. Yeah.
They're gonna force you to work anyways. What do you
Exactly.
mean?
Like with the advent of work from home, there's no time off now, guys.
Yeah, there's no time off. There's no excuse. You're at your house. You're comfy. Put on your slippers. Get to work.
But point is, if you guys are watching this, the worst of it's already over. Most of the craziness of it is going to be Sunday night through Monday morning.
Yeah.
And then by Monday night should be pretty much, or Tuesday morning. They said
Tuesday morning.
should be pretty much done. It's just a lot of rain. Again, a lot of rain's
It's
a big
a
problem.
heavy tropical storm. We've
climate
had heavy
change.
tropical storms before here in California.
Yep.
I still remember the first storm I experienced like that. I remember I was like 5 or something, and I was still at Miles, and they didn't close down the school or anything, and it was super heavy rain. Like basically most of this area here from the middle school all the way to the house was flooded. So you were like you were basically wading through water to get back home from school. And then it was really really heavy rain, and then it was over by the night. There was even hail at that point.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
No, I wish I could go and see what the LA River is going to be looking like because it always looks fucking ominous.
Well, I'm gonna see it. I gotta drive to the wedding.
That's true. You might.
I can
you
just
might
take
still see
pictures
that.
for you.
Yeah, if you pass by the 710.
Yeah.
But guys, stay inside, stay safe.
Stay inside, stay
Keep your
safe.
pets
Don't go to a
inside.
wedding like I am.
Exactly. So, the most famous man right now on the internet, Oliver Anthony.
Who?
Exactly. Exactly. Most of you may know Oliver Anthony, otherwise known as the AstroTurf artist. Oliver Anthony made a song called Rich Men North of Richmond.
Oh, I'm the one that gave you this fucking topic idea, and I still don't know who the fuck he is.
Yep. It's
my God.
It's crazy, right? It's
Yeah.
so rich men north of Richmond, right?
That's
Go
a dog whistle right there.
Wait. Before we go into Richmond, Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Before
that-
we
that's
go
the-
into anything,
Okay. Before.
let's go in to the lyrics because
Hold on.
obviously
Let's start with the title then. So Richmond, if you don't know, is the capital of the Confederate. How do you call it? Of the Confederate nation or whatever. The
Confederate-
nation that lasted less than
Confederate States of
the
America.
than the Baja Blast at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was the Confederacy. So when they're talking about Richmond, north of Richmond, they're talking about the Unionists.
Yeah.
The Union.
So, Oliver Anthony describes a working man's struggles during the opening lyrics of his song. Then his target changed Then he targets charged social political issues. The viral song from Anthony arrived on August 8th, and within days, a YouTube video had millions and then tens of millions of views, plus streams on Spotify and other digital providers. He wrote the songs himself, and it clearly resonated with conservative country music fans. Even if the former factory worker says he sits on the center of the road politically. Now that's always a red flag. Wait. It's always a red flag when they're like, guys, I'm actually a centrist myself. Because it's like, what does that mean? Does centrist mean you like? How can you describe yourself as a centrist? Because owning guns isn't like a right wing issue. There are left wing people that are so left wing that they have guns and they want to overthrow the government, right? Because they think the government's not left wing enough.
Yeah.
But how are you a centrist? Please, I never understand. People go, I'm a centrist. It's like,
Well,
what?
it's a dog whistle for
you want to smoke weed, but you don't want women to have abortion rights. That's basically what a centrist is, right?
Yeah, literally. No,
So-
it's because they're trying to appeal to liberals. They're trying to appeal to liberal. They're trying to get the liberal vote, or like they're trying to get liberals on their side, basically. It's the same reason why the Nazi Party was called the National Socialists, because they want to get the left. Like this thing has proven to me more than any other that a lot of leftists are basically like the people in their first relationships. Oh, it's fine. I'll just ignore all the red flags, the
I
blaring
can
red
fix
flags.
it.
Yeah, I can fix them. Don't worry,
So,
I can fix them.
watch. This is these are the lyrics, because obviously, again, we can't play the song because we'll get copyright claimed, but I can tell you what the lyrics are because my goodness. So it starts like any country anthem. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. Okay, right?
All right. So far, so good.
It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but oh it is. Living in the new world with an old soul, these rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just want to have total control. Want to know what you think, want to know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause of rich men north of Richmond. He's rhyming Richmond with end, right? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not very good. That's like the thing. It's not very good.
I wish politicians would look out for minors and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare.
Okay, yeah. There's
Well,
the
God,
welfare part.
well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground because of all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Repeat pre-chorus, repeat chorus, and then I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay. That's the entire thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
There's
3 lines.
there's 3 fucking lines of this. That's it. And
Yeah.
how?
Also,
why is this a
you know
good
when
song?
he did his live? When he did his live, he did. I don't know if I remember correctly. He didn't say this part. The
fudge one?
the fudge rounds.
I'm pretty
You know
sure
why?
he did.
Because a lot of his audience are Southern conservatives,
Obese?
and guess what? A lot of them are fairly overweight, and a lot of them are on welfare. A lot of them, the thing is like that. So that would alienate a lot of their intended audience.
Well, the song's only 3 minutes long, but
yeah.
That's it. There's no
it's not very
there's
good.
no message in this. All he's saying is the same generic stuff we've heard other country people say, right? Like, oh, I'm struggling, oh, rich people, right?
No,
but
no,
the
no,
fact,
not even that.
But the fact that he goes after people on welfare rather than going corporate welfare. This is like, this man has not only deep-throated the boot is so far back, he was able to shit it out.
Yeah, it's lodged inside of his large intestine as he tries to push it out.
And there's so many comments being like, yeah, I'm not even American. We know because you're Russian.
Yeah.
I'm not even American, and I love this song, and I feel like you guys should really go up against like the rich. And it's like, you're going after people on welfare?
Nothing.
You're going after people on welfare. What is the point of you complaining and saying,
In a 3-minute song,
yes.
he has 2 bars dedicated to insulting a welfare recipient. It's like Reagan era, like welfare queen talking points. Like it's insane.
and it's like that's
Dude,
it.
oh no, dude. And you can tell it's kind of astroturfed. Basically all of his accounts were made like 3 months before the release of the thing.
Watch. I have a very clear concise explanation
Okay,
from
okay,
someone,
perfect,
right?
perfect.
So we don't go on any tangents, Walter.
Walter, no tangents.
There are two parts. So the question was, why are people talking about Oliver Anthony being an AstroTurf artist? This guy's been trending in social media, for better or worse, but it seems like Reddit has him pinned as a conservative AstroTurf figure. Some of his lyrics are divisive, but he claims that he's pretty dead center down the aisle in politics. So I'm not sure what to believe. I want to like him for his raw talent as an upcoming artist, but I'm politically
not good.
left-leaning, and I understand some of the hate. Well, again, I haven't... We can't play the song, but apparently some people are like, well, yeah, the melody's good, he's playing it himself, blah, blah, whatever. I understand. Talent can still be
Yes.
talent, but the song is... I mean,
It's not even left-leaning.
objectively, it's just wrong that he's it's just a conservative talking point of like, go after the poor people that are on welfare, cut their welfare. And it's like, how about you cut the corporate tax subsidies
Yeah.
and tax the rich so that everyone has a social safety net?
Tax the rich at
But I
90%.
digress.
But I digress. Not to let it devolve into our typical
Eat the rich.
eat the rich.
There are two parts to this: why it seems AstroTurf and why it is conservative as opposed to centrist. They're very connected. AstroTurfing in this context means that a group is faking a grassroots campaign. The term got a lot of attention during the early days of the Tea Party movement, which was designed to appear to be organic and driven by average citizens, but there were dots connecting the movement to Americans for Prosperity, an advocacy group founded by conservative billionaire brothers David and Charles Koch, the Koch brothers.
The Koch brothers.
Jamie Brooks notes that a ton of digital downloads were purchased of this song the day it was published. This is a tactic used by K-pop fans to get their favorite songs to artificially appear to be more popular than they are and get them to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. Tyler May & Co. notes that he's seen a significant spike in bot activity on his Facebook group devoted to country music. If you search for tweets referencing the song, you'll see that just about every right-wing account with a significant following posted about the song early after release.
Joe Rogan posted about it.
Matt Moran has a lot of comments about this. He highlights some background information that makes the artist appear to not be who he says he is. He also brings up a right-wing media figure named Jason Howerton, who owns a marketing agency devoted to getting things to go viral. Basically, the argument is that Anthony courted with right-wing media organizations specifically to get his song to go viral. Why is this conservative and not centrist, right? That's the other part of this conversation.
Part two.
The answer, there's context. First, it's the mountain of immediate inorganic support from right-wing media figures. Secondly, a conservative arguing they're a centrist is a common tactic.
Yeah.
Elon Musk does this while supporting Ron DeSantis for president. Clay Travis did this in sports before literally taking Rush Limbaugh's job. Third, and this is the most important part, the welfare lyrics fit directly into what has been the American conservative playbook for most of our lives. Most Southern segregationists were Democrats. The most infamous one during the second half of the 20th century was Alabama Governor George Wallace. Wallace was a champion for poor, hardworking people, but he used hatred and resentment against black people who were disenfranchised for most of his electoral life to energize his base. Civil rights law changed the country. Southern Democratic President Lyndon Johnson signed those laws, and that pissed off a lot of other Southern Democrats. Republican presidential candidate Richard Nixon's Southern strategy capitalized on that anger and was able to win a lot of Southern support for Republicans for the first time. Countless Southern Democrats switched parties. A campaign operative named Lee Atwater helps Ronald Reagan and George H.W. Bush become president. He explains the new Southern strategy. You start out in 1954 by saying N-word, N-word, N-word. By 1968, you can't say N-word. That hurts you. Backfires. So you say stuff like forced busing, states' rights, and all that stuff. You're getting so abstract now that you're talking about cutting taxes. And all things you're talking about are totally economic things, and a byproduct of them is that blacks get hurt worse than whites. And subconsciously, maybe that is a part of it. This strategy was most evident with the welfare queen.
Yeah.
Reagan overstates welfare abuse, and it remains a conservative talking, despite significant cuts to the program to this day. What Wallace, Atwater, and others taught the modern conservative movement is that punching down works. And that's what this song does. It punches down. That's why it fits so well within the right-wing universe. The American right wing could just as easily promote the drive-by truckers putting people on the moon. It touches on the same themes, but it doesn't punches down, and it names one of their favorite rich men north of Richmond. I want to add that Anthony has also played a concert at a farmer's market in North Carolina and decided to share the full video of it exclusively on Rumble, of all places, which is a favored YouTube alternative for right-wing creators, which adds on to the evidence he isn't as the middle as he claims to be. A lot of the problem with people claiming to be centrist is that centrism isn't really an ideology. Left and right are incredibly fragmented. There's a general undercurrent of specific sets of values inherent in them, but what would centrist values even be? See, that's what I asked.
Yeah.
I've met some people I would consider centrist, but they're mostly just people who don't care about politics. Most people who say are centrist I've met are fairly consistent right-wing, except for wanting to legalize weed and gay marriage.
Yeah.
I've met other older people who vote for a certain party but are ideologically aligned with the other party. It often seems that because of the culture war issues like abortion, racism, or LGBTQ plus rights.
The thing is, like I have something to touch on, especially in that last part. The thing is, I wouldn't consider those people centrists because they're, despite culturally wanting, like, let's say, legalization of weed, they directly vote for a party that goes against it. Same thing with LGBTQ rights. If you care about LGBT rights, you wouldn't vote right wing because they're actively going against it. You're not a centrist at that point. You're right wing inherently. Even if you care about one specific topic that is going on that they're against or whatever. Doesn't matter. You're voting directly against that interest. You're literally voting for a fascist party. That's it.
His grievance isn't with politicians. His grievance is with poor fat people. The whole song is asking for more government intervention to help people like him, as long as it doesn't help people he views as beneath him. And then someone said, "Did you miss the song name? Did you miss the chorus?" And he's like, he talks about the shit pay he has and how politicians need to help out miners, as in like the coal miners,
yeah,
and the
however
homeless.
few there are left.
He wants the government to step in and raise wages and help people off the streets, but they can't because of fat poor people.
Yeah, like that's the thing. That's like that's the thing. Like the fat poor people directly counteracts any of the arguments because why would he be painting all poor people as like fat and like disparaging them if his goal of his song is to do that
or to make unity between both sides or whatever?
Yeah. And don't forget, okay, like this is going a little bit more meta, but you know that farmers market video, right? That he posted.
I have not seen it.
So okay,
I think it's up next.
But... You know it exists, right?
Yeah.
So that I think is in a playlist that's titled "Things You Should Think About," and in that "Things You Should Think About" playlist, he has 3 videos of the dancing Iraqis talking point, which is basically like, oh, during 9/11, some random woman saw a bunch of like Iraqis outside of her window. How do you call it? Like dancing. And like the conspiracy theory is that they were dancing because they knew that they caused it. Yeah, they were celebrating because they knew that their plan was successful or some other like Nazi talking point. And it's a really common Nazi talking about. It's a really old one too. So the fact that he has 3 of those in that same playlist, like that's a dead giveaway. Like he's essentially promoting right-wing conspiracy theories just kind of openly because it's in a playlist with his most quote unquote famous song. Like it's, I don't know. I feel like it's pretty cut and dry. It's kind of clearly astroturfed. He's either intentionally a racist, like he actually believes all this stuff, or he's pretending to be one for the money, which at the end of the day, I feel like it doesn't matter. Your effect on the world is the same no matter what your reasoning for it is.
Following his viral fame, people online began pointing out that on his YouTube channel, he has a collection of 48 videos titled "Videos to Make Your Noggin Get Bigger."
There we go.
Several of these videos promote 9/11 and COVID-19 conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
The enlightened centrist.
Yes. Very, very center.
3 of the 48 videos are devoted to an anti-Semitic conspiracy theories about 9/11. Yep.
Yeah. The dancing Iraqis conspiracy theory.
Why free speech is the antidote to ignorance. Okay. Fox News segment on the dancing Israelis. You're right.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, sorry, Israelis, not Iraqis. I misremembered.
Alleging that Israelis celebrated 9/11 attacks. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, another is devoted to conspiracy. A Jewish businessman took out an insurance policy and profited from the attack. Yeah. It's unsurprising that anti-Semitism pops up in his conspiralist milieu alongside Jordan Peterson's self-help lectures, Joe Rogan interviews, dopamine control doctors, meditation videos, and more.
He's basically like a microcosm of the whole right-wing pipeline. Because you start out like the pipeline for the right-wing has various entry points. There's like men's health, fitness, like, gym bro style stuff. There's the like mindfulness and like, clean your room type stuff. Yeah. Then there's the like meat. Did you know meat, like how to cook and prepare meat, is like an entry point to the right wing to the right wing ideology.
Of course, because soon you start going. You go how to cook a steak, how to make the best steak, Texas steaks, and then you have what's his face, Royd King going, "What up, everybody? Royd King here. I'm eating bull testicles. I do steroids all day, and this is my central tenets of
Yeah, like I've started to get a couple of those videos, and I have to keep putting not interested.
Me too.
Because like I'm looking up like recipes, right? Like I want to get better at cooking, and like I'm like okay, let me I want to make this like a lot of the takeout food, because like I don't want to go out and buy it, right? Like I'd rather just make it at home.
Of course.
There's I think it's called Beijing beef, like that one, and there's like, a few other
That
ones.
sounds a little racist, man. I don't know if you should say that.
No,
that's
Walter, mute that out.
That's a Mark Norman bit where he's like, sometimes Chinese restaurants they have more they sound like racial slurs. And he was like, listen. He's like, oh, look at that Panda King over there. I was like, he's just a noodle hut, or he like, things like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's like Oriental Chinese restaurant, it's like you're not supposed to say Oriental, all this stuff. Sorry.
No. Like,
Continue.
I actually, low-key, I never noticed that before, but like thinking about it,
He's right.
Yeah, he's right.
That's what makes it funny.
Beijing beef. But
You're
like
just
I'm looking at a
Beijing
lot of
beef.
different ones, and I keep getting like, in particular, I'm getting how do you call it? For some reason, like the algorithm on TikTok thinks that I'm a black African male, because I keep getting the like basically the black people equivalent of like the KKK. How do you call it? I forgot what his name. It starts with like an F, like Dr. F something. I forgot what the full name is.
No, I don't know.
It's basically the black people like the conservative black people equivalent of that kind of stuff.
No, I don't know.
I don't know, but yeah, I keep getting those kind of videos like with the same talking points, just from like a different point of view for some reason, and it's just, I don't know, it's weird. I have to keep putting like, oh, not interested, and they keep coming back up no matter what, because the pipeline from food to right wing for some reason is really strong there. In particular, like with meat, because like I've been trying to prepare more meat dishes, and it's just never ending. It doesn't matter how many times I put not interested, because I keep looking
It's
at like
still
recipe
suggesting.
videos. It keeps suggesting it to me,
Dude,
I'm just like,
I was looking.
dude, I don't want to vote for Ron DeSantis. Just get over it.
I was looking for paintballing videos, which then led to like airsoft videos, and now I'm getting suggested like right wing guys with guns being like the government's gonna come for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I had to fuck my algorithm back, because I went back and started clicking on league videos, just give me my league videos again. I'm tired of this. I'm not looking at paintball videos anymore. But,
Yeah, no.
But the point is,
I had to start following more e-girls to get me off of the me off of the pipeline.
I fucking hate Instagram, because Instagram will still be. I have all my memes where it's like the cats being stupid, or like the aliens going gleep glorp, right? Just dumbest shit ever. Or sometimes those like weird ones, right? Where it's like someone with like like meth addicts being like, oh, don't I look pretty today, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'll still get fucking e-girls, and I'll click not interested, or like thirst traps and shit. No matter how much I put not interested, I have my Goku stuff, I have my One Piece stuff, I have Yu-Gi-Oh, I have all my stuff in my recommended, and yet there's still every single time there'll be someone being like, oh, you've been a good boy today, yum 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 yum, and like the yogurt or whatever the fucking terrible shit they do, right? I still get that.
I don't get that. I get like the other e-girls, like the thirst traps.
I don't know. So Oliver Anthony, the right wing astroturf for him. It's very obvious to see. No matter how much he says, "Oh, I'm just a centrist," right? Again, which has been a right wing talking point, that a claim to be a centrist, right? But yeah, he basically just exploded. He exploded because of this one song, and he exploded because it was manufactured to explode. And there's not even good lyrics to it, and he's making the wrong points. If he really wanted to do like a working class thing, he would, complain about taxes or whatever, right? But complain about the fact that your taxes are being used to pay off police lawsuits, settlements, instead of going to funding your streets and stuff. How's it about you complain about that? How about you complain about the fact that police brutality or social inequality because of rich people and the legislation that they've lobbied for to lower their own taxes, rather than like a fat guy who's on welfare, right?
Half the songs are basically dog whistles. That's basically it. Like the song is basically just like dog whistles with, like, if you know, you know.
Yeah. And do you know how expensive it is to eat healthy? Like, the fact that you're coming after some guy who probably was like, you know what, I'm gonna get my fudge pops because that's the one
Yeah.
thing I can get because EBT still allows it. You know, there are some places that they don't even want EBT to afford fresh food anymore.
There's-
like that we talked about this a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
months ago. They were
Yeah.
try to lobby against it.
There's places where they don't
Wrong
want like individual stores are choosing to not accept EBT.
Yep.
Like they're like, no, we don't want to accept EBT. We don't care. We don't want to accept it. It's
crazy,
It's
but-
I don't know. It's wild. It's dumb.
But not as dumb as Elon Musk because he's trying to delete the block feature on Twitter. Where everyone still calls it Twitter. Everyone still calls it tweets. You can say all you want. Oh, it's called X now. X.com. Stop watching Porn at Work. It's a nude egg. We should be allowed to watch a little porn at work. But
Little porn. It's fine.
do you know why deleting the block feature is bad?
I've seen some like rancid takes about that. Like, okay, this isn't rancid, but like they were basically saying, oh no, we'll just strengthen the mute feature, and then they list out the exact same thing that the block feature already does.
Yeah. And imagine you have someone that is stalking your online account.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to block them and have a private account? But now it's like, nah, they're all gonna be unblocked. So you're telling me these people that have been harassing me are gonna be able to see me again? That's not good for anyone.
That's not good for anyone. No.
And they're also saying he must have seen on the back end how many people have him blocked.
Yeah.
And that's why he got
Yeah, he
butthurt.
got
And he's like,
butthurt.
oh, no, nobody's gonna be blocked actually, and it's a good thing for everyone.
As a part of this, it was revealed that Elon Musk's follower numbers are inflated. There's like hundreds or like
so many
thousands of
bots.
new accounts that like aren't active or like fresh
well.
accounts. They don't do anything. They don't post. They were made like a little while ago, and they're all buffing his numbers up.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what's the cherry on top of this dumbassery? He cannot do it because the feature is required to be allowed on the App Store and Google Play Store. If you make a social media app account, or sorry, website or app, you have to have a block feature for it to adhere to the App Store and Google Play Store. So Android and iOS will not allow you, and those are basic. What are you gonna use? Fucking Ubuntu on your phone?
Yeah.
Like, no. This guy's a fucking idiot because the
Fucking
fact that
retard.
he's immediately going, oh, everyone's blocked me. Okay, the block feature's not actually allowed anymore. And then they go, you didn't even check the rules. You can't do that. Same thing when he tried to put the X on top of the building. He didn't check the rules. He couldn't do that.
And it flashed it into like these old people's apartment. It's
Yeah.
just like waking them up every like 3 minutes.
And I don't know. This is just proving that no matter how much money you have, you can still be a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's the exact I think it's not that. It's tangential to that. It's like having money or being able to make money doesn't make you smart.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yes,
the thing. Like
exactly.
like rich people are dumbasses. Like they're just normal people. There's nothing special about them. It's like
Nope.
meritocracy is not real. They did not earn their money. They just made it.
And speaking about retarded billionaires, there's a billionaire trying to look 18 again.
Oh, dude.
So, Brian Johnson, he's a 45-year-old tech millionaire. I guess not a billionaire. He revealed that he followed a daily regimen that claims that that's given him the lung capacity and physical endurance of an 18-year-old, the heart of a 37-year-old, and the skin of a 28-year-old. So first of all, he posted this to Instagram, right? He looks like a fucking... he looks like a... I don't know. I can't even think of anything to say without being horribly offensive, but...
You know what? My hot take. I feel like he started E and he just said that so that no one would come after him.
That's true.
That's
he's
my
actually
conspiracy
transitioning
theory.
into a woman.
Yeah, no, he's transitioning. I personally feel like he's transitioning to non-binary,
Mm.
and he just started a little bit at E, and he doesn't want anyone to know, so he just said, "Oh yeah, no, I drink the blood of children. It's fine."
Of his own child.
Yeah. No, like in all
so-
seriousness, like I don't know. I feel it's kind of weird to drink the blood of your own children.
So he's getting it infused into him, right? He used to look... Oh, this is a much better picture. Walter, put this one up. He looked like a normal person in the before picture, right?
Yeah.
And now he looks like a fucking vampire because he's pale as hell. He got hair plugs, obviously, right? Because you can kind of see it was already receding right here, and then all of a sudden he has a slightly better hairline, right? Mm-hmm. He looks gaunt, and he looks. I mean, he looks like a fucking psycho. Like he looks like a fucking psycho. Like if you told me, hey, this guy's gonna pick you up in an Uber in the middle of the night, I would think he was going to kill me. He looks like he's dead behind the eyes. And I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know what to tell you. Like it's literally. He's on steroids clearly because you can kind of see the roid gut popping out a little bit, right? But yeah, he's just using maybe he did start E.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like I think he's just at the start of like his E process. I genuinely do think that because like I feel like I've seen like when you first start E, you kind of look a little bit awkward, like your body's starting to change and stuff like that. So I legitimately think that like he just started, or I guess I don't know, they haven't come out yet, but I legitimately think they just started like E or something because
$2
it
million.
does look like at the start of it, like you just look a little bit weird because your body's changing.
$2 million a year to give himself organs of a teenager. So, yeah, this is fucking weird.
And I feel like it's just a lie. I think he's just like trying to cover for it.
Of course.
Yes, the most heterosexual picture that I've ever seen in my life.
With him, his dad, and his son. I want to say that's the third picture right there, Walter. My God.
Oh God.
I mean, yeah, right.
That is the most normal picture I've ever seen in my life.
Definitely. But yeah, they were like, oh, he's 45, but he's super young on the inside, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Project Blueprint, right? He has 30 doctors on staff monitoring his body. I feel like he's wasting more time.
Legitimately, okay. In all seriousness, do you actually believe that he's like infusing the blood into himself? Like, do you think he's telling the truth?
Transfusions, yeah. He does actual transfusions.
That I don't know. I don't like that.
He's
I don't
gotten
like that.
thicker eyelashes, probed his bowel 33,000 times, and he blasts his pelvic floor with electromagnetic pulses.
The fuck
No,
is
because
even
he has one where like his son is
like giving him
donating
blood?
donating blood, and then he
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I have like if I like that picture, I have to be like a crazy conspiracy theorist to actually believe that picture is faked. Like
no, because it's super simple. He's a millionaire. His son, who's I don't know how old his son is, right? But he can give him so much fucking blood because you can donate blood how often, right? Every week, every other week, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But this again is just proving
twice
that
a week actually, because I used to donate blood for money.
Look at that.
You can only donate it twice a week safely. You can unsafely donate it more than twice a week, but safely you can only donate it twice a week.
Yeah, but yeah, this guy's fucking nuts. I mean, he looks like a vampire. He's pale. He's gaunt. He's got the classic roid gut already, and yet he's like, look at all the muscle definition. He's completely pale because he's avoiding most of the sunlight because it's like, oh, it's bad to get skin cancer and stuff like that. Man. But then I don't know how he's getting his vitamin D. But he's a millionaire. He can get vitamin D.
Yeah, he probably just takes supplements. Like that's probably it. That's why his skin doesn't actually have any like pigmentation at all because he's like avoiding the sun. He's trying to I don't know, just maintain a healthy skincare routine. You see freaking what's her name, that Hispanic actress that's in every like Adam Sandler movie, the one from Grown Ups, his wife in Grown Ups. She like plays his wife in every movie.
So let me see. Oh wait, was it Salma Hayek?
Salma Hayek. Have you seen like pictures of her? She's like, I don't know, like 60 or something, and she looks amazing.
She's 56.
Just have a good skincare routine. Like that's it.
I mean, also, yeah, just be rich.
I also just be rich.
He's already rich.
Yeah,
so I don't understand why he
I don't
doesn't.
I don't know.
Why he's wasting extra time,
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. Rich people are dumb. Like, this is what okay, your kids can't have school lunches because this billionaire wants to decide to
literally. Oh wait,
to literally be
right.
a vampire.
Why didn't the rich men? Why didn't Oliver Anthony talk about that?
Yeah,
how they're cutting funding to stop feeding schools. He like if he had been they're cutting funding to schools and yet they're letting fatties eat. Like okay, maybe
no, not even maybe.
But it would have still been incorrect because you're going after the poor people. Like,
Yeah.
he's like rich men north of Richmond, but fuck these poor people that need food
Yeah,
stamps
fuck these
to
poor
survive.
people. I don't know.
He should have talked about how they were trying to cut the school lunches.
Yeah,
'cause
but
it's-
this is I don't know. It's because the right wing talking points are directly connected to the astroturfing. He doesn't talk about those things because he's an astroturf thing. It wouldn't work otherwise. Like, just okay. And just think about it this way: how much money do you think they had to pump into him to just get this level of thing? When leftist media, like One Piece, gets there naturally, just like because most of the people that have talent, like overall, are left wing. Most of the creatives, most of the things, because the Nazi ideology, the right wing ideology, is like poison to creativity.
Yes.
It like
it discourages creativity,
Yes.
discourages intellectualism.
it promotes conformity to a system, and when you have conformity, you can't
it's
be creative.
fascism.
Yeah, you can't have like. There's a reason. Like, okay, have you ever like I've done this? Have you ever gone on YouTube and looked up the media that came out of Nazi Germany? The music and the art and stuff that came out of
It's
there.
bad, isn't it?
It's so bad. It's so awful.
Man,
like-
Nazi art sucks.
It's so bad that
Should
like
have been the real cancellation.
True. No, it's so bad that most of the people that lived under Nazi Germany, even not, especially Nazi
They were
officials,
so bored they shot themselves or left.
exactly. No, they illegally imported media from the U.S. and from other places to
Well,
listen to
yeah,
instead of that.
come on.
Like
It's simple.
right wingers just have no talent, generally speaking. Like obviously there's like one or two here that might be talented. Like you still have like Rick Gervais and stuff like that for comedy, but like overall they're not funny. They're not.
Yeah. Not funny.
Not
didn't
funny,
laugh,
not-
Take this L plus
Yeah.
ratio plus you'll never be loved by a woman
Plus eat a dick.
plus eat a dick. That's Broke Till Friday.
Broke Till Friday.
We're broke till Friday. Goodbye, my friends. We'll see you next week. Now I'ma go and beat my meat. And we're broke till Friday. Bye, my friends. We'll see you next week. And now I'ma go and beat my meat. And we're broke till Friday.